All right, so what do we have here?
We have a 75, 76 probably. Haven't checked the serial number yet, but it's definitely one of those 2 years. Cota 348 Montesa. And we're going to take a look at it to see if, we bought this thing a couple years ago, and we set it in the barn. One day we'll mess with it, either part it or maybe try to restore it. Well, we to the point of taking a look at it now, see what we're going to do with it. Do we part it? Do we try to restore it? Do we sell it as is? It does have good spark. We checked that when we bought it. It's one of the few things we checked, other than compression and spark, and it was all there basically.
Right.
And what we paid for it, we knew if it had 90% of the parts, we would get our money back from parts alone.
Right.
And if we could restore it, we'd have a hell of a deal.
Right.
So, it's good spark.
All right, give it again.
It does have great compression with the plug.
Oh yeah.
You can barely turn it over.
Great spark.
It didn't leak while setting for a long time, but when we got it in here and mounted it like this, then it's setting.
On kickstand, it was fine.
Yes.
Didn't leak.
First of all, it is pretty much of a complete bike. It even has the original speedometer.
Right.
Does not have the bracket for the speedometer, but has the speedometer. And the brake pedal, which was not mounted when we got it, but will mount without a problem, just needs a nut and a spring. Has Michelin radial tires. Competition trials tires. Radial.
Right. In good condition. I don't see any checkering.
This thing here is not correct, of course. It still does have the correct on the other side, but as other bikes of this type, you can tilt the body up to work on the spark plug.
Right.
And
the coil, which is under here. The
yeah,
motoplat.
and get to the air box. Now we did notice that the air box has been messed with somewhat, has been sealed with something, and that it has a terrible, somebody worked on the intake manifold. You can see that's supposed to be a solid rubber, and it's all taped up.
Right, yeah.
So it probably has a hole.
And that's a theme. The tape is a theme we're going to be visiting in a second. The gaffer tape bike is we're going to call this, I think.
Has a NOS tail light mount, no tail light.
We don't need a light.
The only other big thing that's wrong with it is it was missing this chain cover. Normally these have a
You don't have to yell at me.
totally enclosed chain.
Right.
This one does not. As you can tell, it's broken.
Right.
Now most people took these off anyway, but whoever took this off left it like that and was, I guess, riding it like that. It definitely looks like from the chain that it was being ridden like that.
Right. This bottom piece you have to actually remove the chain to get it off because it slips off the chain. I believe that the top piece just slipped around. It actually covers the whole rear sprocket, right?
Yes.
And goes up here. And that we think, as we remember, you can remove without taking the chain off.
Yes, the back part and the top part.
Yeah. So they left this on because, it was too much work to take the chain off, apparently.
The interesting thing we found right away in the bench top inspection was tape. Now there's tape on the other side too, as mentioned.
We'll get there.
So we're going to see what's under the tape. We haven't taken it off. It is masking, or yeah. Nice and dry behind there.
Right? Yeah, you can see the crankshaft in there.
And you can also tell somebody tried sealing it with
Yeah, it's
silicone.
with RTV or silicone, yeah. There's our number, by the way, while we're here, 51M, which is the date code.
I think that is a 76.
I think off the top of my head you are correct, but I'm not positive. So we have a hole in that hole is not in the side case, that is in the main case of the engine. And that is definitely a cracked out hole. That's not supposed to be there.
Could be welded if you were good.
We all know about welding cast aluminum. It's not easy to get it right. But, you know, it's a two-stroke dirt bike, so it could be done. And there's not a lot of them around. Not in the States anyway. This is by the way, this is a trials bike. If you're not familiar with dirt bikes, trials bikes are meant to go slow over obstacles. If you ever want to see something interesting, look up trials on YouTube, trials riding, and you'll see some guys go over some things you would never think that a motorcycle could go over. And this is probably one of the best trials bikes, certainly of the 70s.
That here is another piece of tape. I was about to take this off, which I assume you have to take off to tighten the shifter, which is just slightly loose. But I noticed this tape here.
And we haven't taken these off yet, so we don't know what we're going to find under here. And that is
a very nice, neat hole.
Oh, there's supposed to be rubber in there or something. There's a rubber plug in there or something, I bet you.
You don't think that's broken?
I don't know.
It doesn't feel broken.
That doesn't look like a broken hole.
No, it doesn't.
That looks like, let me get the light up on it. No, that's not a broken hole. There's supposed to be a plug or something in there. It's all smooth and it's painted. The edge is painted.
I took the liberty of loosening these screws.
And those are original flathead screws.
Yes. Which I do not have a screwdriver that fits. I have to pound this one into them.
Yeah.
Or make a screwdriver.
I used a regular countersunk flathead screw, and like most motorcycles at the time were going to posi drives or JIS. Okay.
The hole obviously was original.
Yeah, that's original hole. So, obviously, like he says, we haven't worked on one of these engines in a long time, so we remember that that's not a complete case.
Actually, I've worked on half a dozen Montesa engines. I never had a 6-speed. This is a 6-speed transmission,
okay,
which is totally different than the 4-speeds.
Okay.
As far as this case goes.
Right.
As I recall, they're one piece.
Right.
I mean, even back to the point where we had the clutch lever down here on the early models.
Okay. So this is different. We just have a gap here that is, it's just a place for mud to accumulate. I'm not sure exactly what the point of that is.
It was for something.
Yeah. But obviously it's supposed to have some sort of rubber plug here or something, because you don't want this open right here. But because that would just gather rainwater in there.
And the other thing that we noticed is that it is leaking quite a bit of oil. Just sitting.
Yeah.
Not running.
And we've just showed you the couple instances of gaffer tape. We don't know if there's not gaffer tape underneath holding a piece together.
Yeah. When I put it on the stand 2 days ago, I cleaned the oil off. And as you can see, it's leaking.
Right.
It's got a lot of good parts on it. It needs an engine casing or somebody that knows how to repair that one.
It's a bike worth doing it to. It's not, I mean, I'm not trying to say bad things about Honda or anything, but there's 100,000 Honda engines of this size in the world. There's not a lot of Montesa engines this size in the world.
And the other thing is, if it was a Honda, This would probably be rusted, but
Yeah.
the forks are nice.
Yeah, the forks are nice. Visually everything's nice. You've got the original grips that are still in pretty decent condition. Got, I believe, original bars that are still in nice condition. They're aluminum bars. And the one thing about Spanish bikes is they like to put their name on everything. So obviously you've got it big on the side of the case. You've got it on the grips. You've got it on top of the levers. You've got little rubbers that say Montesa on them.
The Whirlpool even has.
Yeah,
I
and
believe.
on the fork, you got the Montesa M. Bultaco even put them on their bolt heads. Put Bull or Bultaco on their bolt heads. I believe that's the original carburetor. That's an Amel. It's not a square body.
Yeah, that's the Amel square body.
Is it a square body? Yeah, I guess it is.
It's not a square throttle, I don't think.
It's not a flat throttle, but it's square body. Might be able to see that in there. I believe that's the original carb. It's got the square cylinder.
We haven't checked the compression, but it's got to be 80 plus. I bet it's 100.
Yeah, it blows your finger off. Easy.
And I think what we're going to do is we're going to offer it for sale for somebody that wants the project, because I'm too old for this project. I'd have to research and find a bottom end or casings.
And we'd have to get somebody to weld that. That's not something I can do with a MIG gun. That weld would need to be TIG welded. I know a guy in Australia that could do it. He knows who I'm talking about. As far as the body work goes, it's all nice. There's no missing chunks, but there is some repairs right here.
A little bit of JB weld.
Little JB weld repairs. It's not the way to do fiberglass, but this is fiberglass, by the way.
Yes.
As you can see in here. But normally these get shipped here. These chip off because they're real thin. In fact, this is really thin. Oh, there's some JB weld inside too.
I noticed that.
Yeah, up under there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why they would have done that. I've never seen one break there. I've dealt with a lot of Bultaco fiberglass pieces like this, but never seen one break underneath like that. There's a bunch of little spots that you just put JB weld on.
Well, I put it on the floor once in a while, so
Yeah,
when I'm putting it on, whatever I'm putting it on.
right. It does have the original seat still on it. It's got some rips in it, a couple rips, but obviously that's an original.
It is a Rathmel replica.
Right, that's what the
Nicola Rathmel, I guess is how you say it.
original shocks. I'm not familiar with these Hydrobag shocks. Know nothing about them, but we understand that they are original.
I saw a bunch of pictures of new ones, and that's what was on them.
Yeah.
So we're going to offer it for sale for someone that wants the big chance, or in about less than a month it will be parted and sold on eBay a piece at a time.
Yeah.
So now's your chance, folks.
Because honestly, I mean, it's sad to say this, but it's probably would bring double in parts that it would as a piece. They're not cheap either way, but as parts with all the nice pieces that are on it, really nice muffler and exhaust system. And there is the headstock number. That's 51M9811, and that's 51M9811. So it is matching. Engines matches
Even
the
has
frame.
the original headlight brackets on it.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we're saying. Just these little brackets. Yeah, they're just bent wire, but they'll bring $30 or $40 on eBay because they're original to this bike, and these bikes are collectible. That's what.
I saw one of this brace right here for $65.
Yeah. And the thing about this bike is nothing else that was used on this bike was used on any of the other ones. Basically, maybe the forks were different, although these are leading forks, front leading forks, and I don't think the other Montesas used this front leaning design.
Yeah.
Or the square body. I might be wrong about that, but I don't think so.
What you think, Claire?
So something else here we just kind of discovered while messing around is it is shifting weird. We kind of maybe think that the shift pause or the drum is worn out because we're getting.
Now see, don't want to go in there.
Yeah.
That's what it did yesterday. You wouldn't go in until I come back out this morning.
Here, there it went.
Okay, that's a gear. It should go neutral, down. It won't go down.
All right, let's rotate the actual engine. Not now. There it went.
Okay, and then go down.
All right.
1, 2, neutral. The transmission will definitely need gone through.
Yeah, the transmission's definitely going to be gone through. We're getting false neutrals between second and third and fourth, and we're not sure it's not skipping a gear.
Shifting fork or
Yeah, it's
one of
either
those.
shifting fork or pause or the drum. Something's not quite right. Let's just put it that way. Ooh, needs new bearings too.
It does.
It's going to need completely gone through.
That's swing arm bearing.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Swing arm, see this thing won't move?
Oh, okay, so it needs a new swing arm bushing.
Yeah, see it.
Yeah. So see, we're giving you more information if you're interested in it than we were given. But, you know, we bought it based on the fact that it probably would need all this. So, and you should buy it based on the fact that it probably will need all this. And more.
It's a Morgan.
Made in New Jersey.
I'll bring my new Mustang out.
Okay. And this was made in England. Fine sheet stamping or steel stamping skills there.
It's not every day you get a new Morgan or a new Mustang.
Here, demonstrate it working,
Actually,
if you can.
Pretty much can't.
There you go. Fun for all ages, as long as you can sit on it. All right, guys, so just thought I would share that with you, bring you along taking that tape off. We hadn't taken it off because we wanted to do it on video. Thought it might find something interesting under there, and we did find one hole and one not really a hole, but anyway, thanks for watching, and if you have any interest in this bike, let us know. You can get in touch with me in the comments, or my email is also in the about page on my channel. And as always, thanks for watching, and if you like more of these kind of videos, I have a whole playlist. I'll put it up somewhere over there. Thanks for watching. Bye.